Hello, I'm Alison Carter from the Institute for Employment Studies, based in the UK. I was also a founding director of the EMCC, the European Mentoring and Coaching Council, for the first, I was involved for the first 3 years of its existence. And I have to say I'm extremely proud of the work they've done on developing standards and accreditation for coach training programs. I'm also a volunteer in my local community, and I'm very passionate about helping people self-manage. And the work that I'm doing is part of what's called the Expert Patients Programme, which some of you may have heard of, came out of Stanford University originally. And it's about helping give people the self-management skills to manage their long-term health conditions. I'm also on the research advisory panel for the Foundation of Coaching. My relationship to coaching research is primarily as a researcher, although I did make the transition from a practitioner originally, and I set up the Strategic HR Coaching Service in the UK, which aims to help senior HR professionals. Most of the research I've been doing has been around the executive coaching process, but more recently I've been looking at return on investment, and a particular study that was published a couple of years ago has been around how organisations evaluate their coaching programs. That's external and internal coaching programs. So I would say most of my research interest is around coaching within a workplace context. In terms of the research questions that I think would really help, I realised when thinking about this that diversity is really bothering me. Not that it's my particular area, but I think we could do with a bit more mapping of the territory around this. You know, there are attempts at surveys counting the number of coaches, but I'd like to see some more basic counting of the numbers and diversities of clients. I'd like to see if are we really starting to reach those hard to get at communities who could really benefit from this. On a separate tack, I'm also worried, as Ruth Ann was, about line managers as coaches. I see quite a lot of internal programs in organisations who and I see a lot of struggling line managers who are expected to adopt this coaching style of management. And I think we could do with finding out a bit more about whether and how they're actually coping with this. Then it's a rather niche area, but I do lots of programme evaluations on behalf of organisations, and that's led me to believe there's a big gap in terms of how their clients are supported back in the workplace. And I think we could do with a bit of theory generation and articulation in what I call organisational sponsorship for the coaching client. I mean, there's lots of possible projects here, but the ones I'm particularly keen on seeing happen are around what makes a good sponsor and how involved do they actually need to be.